Hey guys! So, long time no see. Quite a long time. I think it's probably about a year again now. But, a lot of stuff has happened recently, so I just thought, why not film a video? So, as you guys may or may not know, I'm currently at Coventry University studying children and young people's nursing. So what I quickly do is just make like a little video about sort of the university, the accommodation, how my first year at uni has gone, and sort of just uni from a nursing perspective and Coventry Uni in general, just sort of people who may be starting this September, because I know you guys are probably starting to look up videos about uni and all that sort of thing, because I know I did. So I'm at the moment, so I have actually got a video on my channel of when I first moved into university, and that was into the Coventry Uni Singer Hall accommodation, which I really liked. I really enjoyed it in my little flat. So what it was a little flat of 3 girls, including myself, and then 3 boys. But how they did it, it was the flat was sort of split down the middle. So they had the 3 girls on one side, ours was on the left hand side, and then the 3 boys on the right hand side, and then I had a shared, sort of like a big bathroom with like a bath and all that. Then I had like a little shower room, a normal sort of WC, and a shared kitchen. The only thing I didn't really like about the accommodation was that the kitchen, our flat, it seemed to be like, because the kitchens on the 2nd and 3rd floor of our block were actually quite big, but for some reason, because we were on the ground floor, we're on like the disabled friendly floor, so our kitchen was tiny. I mean, to be fair, you'd think for a disabled friendly floor they would be a lot better, but hey ho. The only thing I found was because Singer Hall, like some of the Coventry Uni accommodation is with a private company, as Singer Hall, and I know a couple of others are with a company called Future Let's, which is owned and run by the university. And what I found is my friends that were in the accommodations with the private companies enjoyed it a lot more than we did. So like, I know I had a few friends that lived in Callis Court and Paradise Place, and they both absolutely loved it. They both, their moving in and moving out went really smoothly. But with Future Let's, ours was slightly different. One of the couple of things that annoyed me were the catch that they have with their contracts is a lot of them are moving out, like the contract finishes on the 1st of July, which is alright, you know, because pretty much every contract that you have when you rent out finishes on the 1st of July. So, but the problem that I had is the contract is meant to include the 1st of July, but in fact you don't actually get the 1st of July, because what we had is we had to move out at 8 o'clock in the morning. We had to have moved all our boxes out by, which was ridiculous, because that meant that my parents are coming all the way from Wales, which is about a 2-hour drive from Coventry, where I'm originally from, and yeah, so that meant they had to leave their house at about 5 o'clock in the morning to get to mine to help move my boxes, which was ridiculous. And then, so because apparently we had to move out at 8 o'clock in the morning because apparently they had cleaners coming round. I never saw a single cleaner, but obviously I didn't want to get into trouble, so I did move out. But yeah, and then I wasn't allowed into my second property until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So me and my parents had to sit in the Wetherspoons for about 5 hours waiting to pick up my keys for my new house. So that was stressful. So speaking of which, actually, the reason I had to move in at 3 o'clock was because I'm actually in another temporary student-let property at the moment, because I'm in a university house. So I've moved from one set of halls to another set of halls, which has been very stressful. So I'm in, you can't really see, but I'm in a university house at the moment. I just go and do a quick view of my bedroom. But and then I'm there in here for 4 weeks, and then I move into my sort of private rented for my second year. Moving on to the university itself, it's a really good university overall. The campus is really nice. It's what I find is it's a mixture of sort of old and modern buildings. Like our student union building is really, really modern, but it's the Richard Crossman building, which is where all the healthcare people go for all their seminars and lectures and things. And it's quite an old building, so it's quite nice because you sort of get like a mixture of the both, which is really good. Another thing about the university in general is sort of like the student union side of things. So like there are lots and lots of societies. So you've got sports societies, you've got sort of like normal sort of like pop culture societies, I guess you could say. So personally for me, I'm in the anime and manga society, and next year I'm thinking of doing the same again, and also joining the trampolining society and the ice skating society, just because they're like two sports that I really enjoy. And society, I would highly recommend going into a society instead of just like partying all the time, because it's a really good way of making friends that have the same sort of interests as you. So like a lot of my friends are actually from the societies that I've joined, but then I've also got my friends from my course and sort of like my old flatmates I'm still really good friends with, which is obviously a really good thing. So it makes life a lot easier. It's sort of in a way, I wouldn't say forcing you to make friends, but it does make making friends a lot easier, because I know that was one of my really big concerns when I started university. And what we did is, before we actually started university in the summer, we had sort of like a making friends day on our course. So I think it was about July time. We had the university and we sort of met all our classmates, and the lecturers would talk about the course and what sort of things are involved. So like what placements you can go on, what sort of modules you'll have, the sort of the yearly structure, yearly sort of timetable, that sort of thing. Because one of the friends that I actually made on that day, I'm moving in with for my second year, so that really, really helped. I find quite a lot of, I don't know if this is just nursing or like if other courses have it as well, but there seems to be, or if it's just my year, but there seems to be a lot of mature students on my course, just sort of, and in nursing in general, so all the types of nursing seem to have quite a lot of mature students. So don't worry about your age at all. There's one thing that they've said to me, like, to tell you guys, because like the oldest person in our course is 45, and I'm actually the youngest person on the course, being 19. So the child nursing course itself, in my first year at least, we spent from sort of the beginning of October, because our Freshers Week was the last week of September, so we started properly on the first week of October. So our year technically went from, well, our uni, that our theory work, went from the beginning of October to the beginning of March. We were in university for sort of full-time, doing lectures and seminars and practicals and all that. And we had one written exam on anatomy, and we had 2 OSCEs. OSCEs are like your practical exams. So we had one on sort of like measuring the heart rate, blood pressure, all that sort of thing. And we had one on sort of communication, so like how we speak, like sort of patient bedside manner type thing. So for each year at Coventry Uni as a nursing student, you have 2 placements in each year. So it's so in your first year you have your placements sort of on the end of the year. So I had my first placement at University Hospital, Ward 15, which was the infants ward, and it was very, very nerve-wracking to start off with. But sort of overall, I really enjoyed it. It was good to sort of get my clinical skills and everything like that up. And then my second placement is a community placement doing health visiting. And every children and young people's nurse will have health visiting as their second placement in their first year. So it's quite good because then you get a bit of ward experience and a bit of community placement in your first year. So you get sort of like that basic foundation for your work. So children and young people's nursing, or nursing in general, their year goes from September to about mid-August. So our last placement finishes on the 18th of August, and then our summer is about 4 or 5 weeks long, and then we're back into uni for our second year. Yeah. So for the first year, I really, really enjoyed it. I thoroughly recommend Coventry Uni to anyone that wants to do nursing, or specifically young people's nursing. If you've got any questions for me, leave them down in the links below and I will answer them for you. Cool. Bye!